liberty in the fires of hope and prayer, with boundless faith in our destiny, we stand side by side we stand, islands of the blue Caribbean Sea, this our land, we pledge our lives to thee. Hear every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation. Hear every creed and race find an equal place, and may God bless our nation.
Heavenly Father, we come before you at the start of this new day, giving thanks for life, for health, and the opportunity to serve through this station. We ask for your divine presence to guide us in all we do. Bless this broadcast of inspiration, joy, and unity to all who tune in. Whether near or far, may our words uplift, our music heal, and our message bring light. We pray for our listeners wherever they may be. Grant them strength for the day ahead, peace in their hearts, and success in all they put their hands to. Cover those traveling with your protection, and those at home with your comfort and provision. Lord, may everything we do bring honor to you. Guide our steps, bless our efforts, and let this station be a vessel of positivity and hope. In your name we pray. Amen.
Voice, your soundtrack, your station. New Era TT Radio. Net Radio.
For all these blessings, we have to say thanks to the Almighty, man.
Well, we are giving thanks. Thanks for getting up inside of another day. Thanks for all that you have. Thanks for the breath of life. Thanks for the people that you have around you. So today, you know what? We are giving thanks. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Trinidad. Good morning to Tobago. Neighbors of the Caribbean. Good day to you. Friends who are streaming all around the globe. Thank you all so much for being here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, the heartbeat of the Caribbean. And we take you above and beyond. Thanks as always to the Heavenly Father for bringing us together for another day. All that we do, dear God, let it be a blessing, honor to you. People, I'm your truly Sir Charles. Happy am I to be in your company on this Tuesday morning. We're going to have a really fantastic time. But of course, you know, this is the Get Up and Go. We welcome all of you to the Breakfast Show.
Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes turned on. From Morocco's Bay to the Savannah line, let's start the day in Caribbean prime. Lights rolling through the air. The Breakfast Show, energy everywhere. We talk, we laugh, we make you think. Grab your doubles or your morning drink.
Good morning. Okay. Charles. Okay.
Hello. All right, that's it. We're gone.
All right. So good morning. Good morning to our listeners and viewers wherever you are across the planet. And welcome to the Breakfast Show on this Tuesday morning. We know you have a choice. And we are glad you choose us. It's not Tuesday.
It's a
Tuesday.
Thursday.
Tuesday.
You said
Tuesday.
Thursday.
I said
Play it back. You
Tuesday.
said Thursday.
You can't play
You
it
want the
back now. I
best? You
said
said
Tuesday.
Thursday.
Well, yeah, better when you check it out after, we'll see how it comes.
Did he just chips at me?
I did.
You know what's in
I
here?
was
I'm
clear.
If anybody put what is the meaning of chips now in the chat, I will give you a free ticket to something. I don't know what.
Okay. All right. So good morning to all our listeners and friends wherever you are. And of course, good morning to my co-hosts, Wendell and Sir Charles. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys. And as always, it's good to have you. And good morning to everybody joining us.
Good morning, Richard. Good morning, Sir Charles. Welcome back, Richard. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And good morning, listeners and viewers all over the globe. It's Tuesday, October 7th in 2025 in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a no, it's not that slick money gift. Trust me, it's a lot worse than that. Rod Chasso is celebrating his birthday today. My very good friend and compare.
Okay.
Father, my son, a beautiful
Mr.
human
Chasso.
being. Rodrigo Chasso, he is celebrating his birthday today. Tony Maslin, and also a good childhood friend of mine, Alice Loral, who lives out there in the United States. She is also celebrating her birthday. Oliver Man Warren, you are correct. That's exactly what astutes me. And so Christo said he's also right. You know old school people, eh? Anyway, we're here. We're happy to be in the land of the living.
I was sure if you're finished with your birthdays. I said for birthdays.
Yeah, I'm done. It's just 3 I have today.
Okay. I wasn't sure. Of course, I want to say a big thank you to all the people who came out at Sapa over the weekend to the play. You don't leave foul to watch Corn.
Mm-hmm.
We had a really good time in San Fernando at Saturday and Sunday. And of course, we'll go to Cipriani College this weekend. So we are back in East this weekend at Cipriani College on Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30. And of course, tickets are already on sale at all the usual outlets. and you get tickets when you're in Cipriani College. And of course, the box office at Cipriani College will open on Wednesday from 12 noon, which is tomorrow, from 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily. But outlets are already selling tickets.
Wait, where you are somewhere again this weekend?
At Cipriani College.
Oh, okay.
But that's what I just said.
Oh, no.
Is that delayed by you or something?
I know, I was responding to Chasu message.
Oh, okay. So tickets are already on sale at outlets. I mean, of course, if you're in that Cipriani College area, the box office will be tomorrow, but in that area, and to these florals at Valpark Shopping Plaza will be selling tickets, as well as, of course, you can get tickets at the King Square Fashions in Westmall, Eastgate, and Brentwood Mall, Jabidi in Tunapuna, Chamfley Auto Services in Chamfley. And electronics in the Remountain, we're really enjoying ourselves on stage. So thanks again to all of the people who came out to San Fernando over the weekend. It was wonderful. We had a really great time.
Yeah. So Charles, someone is saying that we have distortion, a lot of distortion, and somebody also said we are not on Gaia as yet.
I don't know. I'm listening to it actually on YouTube. That's what kind of distracted me just now.
Oh.
It is a little clipping on the internet, although we are not hearing it, but
no,
after it leaves us, apparently there is a little clipping. I'm studying if I should refresh it here.
Right. Our apologies, folks. We're going to get it right. We're going to get it right because we have a very important show for you today, not just for women, but for men too. You'll find out we have a Dr. Christo Cave. He'll be our guest in the second hour. It is a program you do not want to miss. Trust me. Right?
So it is refreshing it. Does refreshing it mean what's the challenge?
Well,
you have to stop and start.
I'm going to while you guys are on, I'm going to see if I can refresh it on my end. If we do get cut off, we'll just come back in, right?
All right, good. Yeah.
But go ahead in the meantime.
It's important for people to get a very clear sound today. So whatever we have to do to fix it, let's do that. You know, because CJ is saying we are sounding horrible. Valerie Mendoza is saying the feed is breaking up. So let's fix it. Marlon is also saying distortion. At least the chat coming through very clear. All right. And we are not having, I don't know what's happening with the television thing. So clearly there's something wrong this morning in terms of the feed that's leaving us. All right. So let's fix it, people.
But I can't help from my end at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now we're getting a lot of complaints now. So let's get it fixed.
Maybe we should come off and come back in. I don't know.
We could try that. But wait, did Sir Charles leave? Because he would have to let us back in, not so?
But he's there.
Well,
you want us to come out and come back in, Sir Charles?
Hold 1 minute. Let me just recheck something, right? But go ahead in the meantime. Just sit there. I'll just kind of refresh it here on my end, and I'm going to check and see what's going on.
All right. Well, I guess they're hearing us. So, well, they're not hearing us clearly, but let's greet the people in the chat by the time, Richard, because we don't want to show good news and people miss it. Or you want to do that? But you know, the issue of a budget date, why can't the government get it correct? They issued a post was put up yesterday by no less a person than the PRO of the UNC, who apologized and took it down. You understand? He said it was what? Shared in error or some kind of thing. So that the budget date is October 13th. I don't know if you saw it, Richard, with a picture of Dave Tanku's face and saying the budget is October 13th. Only for them to take it down. No less a person than a government minister shared it and then removed it also. What is the big deal with the budget dates? Why is that a secret? Is that mired in controversy also?
I have no clue.
You know, it's just crazy.
It is such a simple procedural issue of stating when your budget is, because your budget has to be ready by now. And because your budget is your budget for next year, from the time you finish this, some agencies start planning what the next year budget is already. Yeah? So it's a pretty rote exercise in terms of government departments. Pretty rote. Because it's something you have to do every single year, and recurrent expenditure is kind of standardized throughout, whatever it is. And so that's pretty rote. And then you having whatever additional expenditure, whatever additional capital expenditure, etc. You will be doing. You have the PSIP funding, which is always part of it. That's another exercise that organizations would do. What are your PSIP projects for the upcoming fiscal year and stuff like that? For those of you who don't know what PSIP means, it means public sector
investment programs.
It's usually projects that, what's that coming up?
All right, so guys, I think we'd have to come off for 2 minutes and come back on.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So people bear with us a lot.
Apologies. We are coming off here for a couple of minutes and coming.
Come on now, do it with me. For the festivals. For the musicians, for the costume bands, for the melody taking over me. Can't refuse it now, can't resist it now. I'm not there to reveal exactly how we feel for DJ music. Can you feel it? For the food and craft, time to play and laugh. You can't refuse it now. You can't resist it now. Do this now for me. Put it up, let me see, and put your hands where my eyes can see. I give thanks for the carnival. Put your hands where my eyes can see. I give thanks for the festival. Yeah, man, real. Yeah. You know we gotta say thanks to the Most High. Praises be to you, the Most High. All the things that you do, the Most High. He loves you all. You know we gotta say thanks to the Most High. Praises be to you, the Most High. All the things that you do, He loves you, man. Thanks for life itself. Oh, greatest well-being. You can't refuse it now. Can't resist it now. I'm not afraid to reveal exactly how you feel. With strength and knowledge, for the privilege to sing to the masses and show thanks and praises. We can't refuse it now. Can't resist it now. One last time for me. Put it up, let me see now. Put your hands where my eyes can.
All right. Well, we are back. I know that we still have it. We may still be having a slight issue, but guess what? We're gonna soldier through this thing and say, "Get thee behind me, Satan! Get thee behind me, us, Satan!"
But see any comments in the comment section that is indicating whether it's still distorted.
Well, we'll have to invite folks to tell us now because the comments had stopped.
Well, I mean, people comments should be coming back in when in fact it is cleared up.
Yeah.
In terms of the distortion.
Or if you could tolerate it for the time being until
not tolerate when it is cleared up. What you should finish your talk.
No, well, until Satan leaves.
Why are you blaming Satan for a technical issue?
I mean, Satan in everything. Just like God in everything, Satan in everything. You should know that by now. You are all people.
Up here, man. Up here, Mr. Up it was loud and clear.
Yeah, some people saying it's still distorted. So we're gonna have to try to. Well, I don't know how we're gonna. It's a YouTube problem, folks. It's not our problem.
But he just told you it's a YouTube problem.
Somebody said that earlier on. I saw that earlier on.
Look, Sir Charles is there. Sir Charles, what is the situation?
All right, so it has cleared up a little bit. I'm just kind of monitoring it right now. So just give me a couple of minutes while I monitor it. But it's cleared up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are on Gael, I can tell you that.
All right, so we're back. I mean, we're having a little technical problems this morning. Our apologies to our listening and viewing audience. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes technical things happen and you try to manage them. But it's not to any supernatural being. It's just technical problems caused by humans. And
yeah, so you know the devil is a human too?
Caused by
You're
humans.
Playing, you know, Satan is humans in human form too?
Caused by humans and equipment. So I'm seeing a lots of messages coming in, Wendell. So is it that it's cleared up at least?
Yes, people are saying it's better now.
Okay, great. So we were before we go to the good news, we were just touching on.
I tell you, when I say get thee behind me, Satan, I tell you it works.
So
you see how that works?
It had nothing to do with Sir Charles refreshing it. We were talking a little bit on budget and the budget day controversy, and it has become a controversy, unnecessary controversy, and so utterly silly that the budget day has become mired in mishaps and farcical moments, because it's not even it's almost laughable. And it's like, what is the big deal? You know, just say what the budget day is and get on with the budget. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a procedural thing that happens every single year. Stop making such a complete chaos and mayhem and chaos out of it. And
I like that word though.
And it has become chaotic because of the big secrecy behind the budget day. Just say what the budget day is. Your budget should already have been prepared. I saw an interview with Minister Tanku, and he said everything is ready.
Yes, I saw that too.
So the only reason it could be delayed, in my opinion, is because somebody has said, okay, add this or add that, which would be highly unusual at this point.
But unless the issue of, I have to get away from the sunlight a bit, unless the issue of the realignment, reshuffle, whatever they call it, has caused a problem, that they were asked to hold on it until I sort out these things by no less a person than the Prime Minister. That could be the only thing.
Well, it will cause a shifting of budget allocations, but it shouldn't affect the budget tangibly.
Yeah.
And if you know you were going to do that reformatting anyway, you should have done it in a way that doesn't affect the budget, or do it a little bit after, so the realignment takes place during the fiscal year. Because remember, you're coming to the end of October shortly, and payday is usually earlier in October too, as it is in September. So you would want budgets to be in place, because a lot of programs will be starting to be affected because there is no budget allocation. And remember, it still has to go to Parliament to be approved and debated, etc. So it's highly unusual, and what it makes it even more, I don't even know if to use the word concerning. Is it at the level of concerning? I don't even know if that's the word. But this bumbling that seems to be taking place with a simple thing like the budget day.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be talking about it. All we should be saying is the budget day is X day and Y day. We shouldn't be having to talk about mistakes and secrecy and all of that. Silly. Come on.
Yeah. That's
silly. But anyway, before we get into all of that, which we just did anyway, let's get into our good news for today.
Nationalists walk around with a mouth full of scripture and a heart full of hate.
I think I've seen this.
Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe.
Pay attention.
Jesus didn't tell us to love our churches. He didn't tell us to love our doctrines and our creeds. He didn't even tell us to love our scriptures. He told us to love our neighbors. And there was no exception to that commandment. Love thy neighbor, regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or immigration status. One of my favorite theologians, Barbara Brown Taylor, once wrote, "The only clear line I draw these days is this. When my religion tries to come between me and my neighbor, I will choose my neighbor." Jesus never commanded me to love my religion. You know what's interesting? Not once in the entire Bible does Jesus ask us to worship him. All he asks is that we follow him. Love like he loved. Love the outcast. Welcome the stranger. Feed the hungry. Heal the sick. Free the oppressed. As the hymn says, they will know we are Christians by our love. We have to get back to that.
Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat others, and I'll tell you what you believe.
People of the net radio, followers of the breakfast show, we have just had an epiphany on the breakfast show, courtesy Richard Ragubasi. You just witnessed firsthand the miracles of the Almighty God. You just saw it. You were witnessed it. Hallelujah.
Are you finished? So that was our good news for today.
I always thought that something was up when we started to have technical problems this morning, when I had to resort to saying, "Get thee behind me, Satan," because God has come forward this morning in no less a person than our co-host, Richard Ragubasi. He has worked through him his magic that we all know he can work. He has made his presence felt. And here, Richard Rag, you need to play that again, because plenty more people need to listen to what you just played, what you just epiphanized. Plenty people. Plenty of them who go into church every Sunday and praying every day and talking in tongues need to hear what you just epiphanized. Play it again.
Nationalists walk around with a mouth full of scripture and a heart full of hate.
I think I've seen this.
Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat other people, and I'll tell you what you believe.
Pay attention.
Jesus didn't tell us to love our churches. He didn't tell us to love our doctrines and our creeds. He didn't even tell us to love our scriptures. He told us to love our neighbors. And there was no exception to that commandment. Love thy neighbor, regardless of race, class, gender, sexual orientation, or immigration status. One of my favorite theologians, Barbara Brown Taylor, once wrote, "The only clear line I draw these days is this. When my religion tries to come between me and my neighbor, I will choose my neighbor." Jesus never commanded me to love my religion. You know what's interesting? Not once in the entire Bible does Jesus ask us to worship him. All he asks is that we follow him. Love like he loved. Love the outcast. Welcome the stranger. Feed the hungry. Heal the sick. Free the oppressed. As the hymn says, they will know we are Christians by our love. We have to get back to that.
Don't tell me what you believe. Show me how you treat others, and I'll tell you what you believe.
They will know we are Christians by
By
our
our
love.
love, by our love.
They will know we are Christians by our love.
I don't know that song. I don't
You didn't
know.
grow up learning that.
You did. It was indoctrinated from a young age.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh my
Oh
God.
yes.
My sisters told me that she loves him, the guy who's talking. She says he's actually running for office in Texas.
Ah,
And she really likes, very likes his style. So that
well,
was
I
our
don't
good
just
news
want
for
to hear
today.
him.
Huh?
I want to Google Barbara Brown Taylor too. I've never heard that name.
Oh, the theologian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting stuff. Anyway,
Very
let's greet our people in the feed, because of course
Yep.
we're running way behind time this morning
Yes, we are.
because of our technical difficulties. But let's go through strong.
Valerie Mendoza says good morning. Felix Kazo also says good morning. Could you play Freaking Streaking by Mighty Duke? Okay, we'll get into that too, Felix, before the month is over. Sherwin and Juliet Kerr, Marlon Motley,
Good morning,
Ava
Marlon.
Diane Payne, Brennan Smith, Slick Money Grip, Mrs. R, Carol
Mrs.
Guevara,
R.
DL, Ozzy Molino, Michael Cadet, Ilarizan, Wayne Ramsey, who had that very successful event out there in Fort Lauderdale. Far Rockaway morning, Katian Charles, whose birthday is the day after mine. I didn't even realize. Maybe I forgot. James Kamau, Manuela Peters, Gerald Pollini, Robert Taylor, Joyce Phillip. Carol Guevara also says, put your hand where my eyes can. Okay, sorry, Carol. All right. Send in messages. Richard M. Jeremiah, Diane Payne, thank you, God, for life. Debbie Modest, who came and collected the lovely bottle of wine yesterday at Rob.
Oh, okay, great.
Pose for a picture with Harper. Harper is
Yeah.
feeling
I believe Miguel Gonzalez came to the show too, the guy who won the tickets.
Yeah, he messaged yesterday too on the chat. Yeah. Harper don't want to wash his hand this morning. He said from shaking Debbie. Lambert Bruce says from El Dorado, Magic, Grand Rising, gentlemen. David Wares, morning, no volume on Gael. Rena Jennings, Ingrid from Tucson, Arizona. Odell Guy, Gavin Frank, Susie B, that's Susie Billwin. Sherma Paul, Ambrose Blah from New York, CJ from New York, Oliver Manwarin, and of course, this is the part where people chatted when we were having technical difficulties and asking what is Stoops. Michael Robinson, who called me last evening, when he called me last night, it was morning by him, I think. Yeah, because he's 13 hours ahead of us. So it's actually late night by him now. Morning, Michael. Evening, Michael. Edwin Joseph said, guys, it's my birthday on Sunday. So we wish you happy birthday. If not Friday, Edwin, Monday. Please God, right? Kenny in Harlem. Alistair Hart says, good morning, Wendell. Is that budget date real or fake? We don't even know. And of course, this is all the chat about the feed. Suzette Jessup says, good morning. Estelita Sampson. GH says, good morning also. Apollinus, good morning to all. Brent Hackshaw, Donna Ramlo Chan, Melchizedek, Michael Samuel, the budget must ensure that the unemployed can meet the basic cost of living. Florence Bazi says good morning. Diane Payne, Joanne Tull, Julia Batiste, Alicia Almond de Roche. A lot of these are repeats. Beauty Culture says good morning. Natalie Hoyt, also says good morning. Pamela Grimshaw, Lester Cragwell, Brent Hackshaw, Junior Wickham, that's a new name. Good morning, sounding better. Dean Allen says, hey, everyone says this to Wendell. Satan is YouTube. I could see that. Joyce Phillip, Melchizedek, Estelita Sampson, all these are repeat names here coming up, right? So let me just skip past all that. DL, but it was never in anybody's back pocket. Anyway.
Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning, breakfast crew. Lester Cragwell, Wells. All these are repeat names coming up here. So we could. All these are
Williams, good morning.
All right. But seeing that you have so many repeats.
Kazim Mohammed is a new name. Ron DeSantis Jr. Today is October 7th. Did we have it wrong somewhere? I'm not sure. Anthony Atwell, Kenny in Harlem, Bernadette and Nelicia Yates, Miguel Gonzalez, Maria Cellier, and Keith Clark. That's it.
All right, so let me say good morning to Kent as in Laventil. Suzanne, good morning. Fifi, good morning. Terry Ann Peters, Mr. Billy in Powder Magazine. Margot, good day. Kathy Ann, my neighbor, good morning to you. And Mr. Beeps, good morning to the people out there in Pity Valley. Judith in Tobago. Horatio, good morning. Captain Ron in Orlando, Archbishop in Ashton Clark in Canada, Zena in Arima, Brenda in Pinal, Robert Alain, good morning. Joyce Phillips, Frank in Aruka, Sachin, good morning. And Laverne, good morning to all your people. And we do apologize for the transmission problems this morning, but that is how technology works. And we are running well behind time. So let's take that break and come back.
Pay $1 down on hire purchase plans at Furniture Plus. Enjoy fast approval, low interest rates, and up to 36 months financing. Retirees, self-employed, and permanent employees apply today. Buy now, pay later with Furniture Plus credit plans. Conditions apply.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop. Located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Devante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box. People can't get enough of the number 1 comedy of 2025. You don't need file to watch Corn. It's now at Cipriani College on Saturday the 11th of October at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Dancho Israel Bacalao.
Tickets available now at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Wednesday 8th of October, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily.
Don't play mad and miss this show, you know.
I see that show 3 times. Kenna is the best.
You don't need file to watch Corn. The Bacchanal continues. Of course, we're back after our slight break. And
we can get straight into the newspapers. Today's Express, some of the headlines. And we have no volume though on Gael. I checked it myself. The show is showing, but there's no volume. So, Charles?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm sending off a message to that now. Could one of you guys also do the Guardian for me, please?
We'll do that. Yeah. Some of the headlines in the Express, as I said, PM a win for TNT. I don't know what that story is about. 626. Listen to this, 626 drone sightings over the jail in 6 months. That's more than Caribbean Airlines flight. 626 drone sightings over the jail. That is a crazy story. Make or break time, that's on the senior football team. Carter targeting fast times in Aquatics World Cup Series. And some of the other stories. Finally, third highway lane opens in Chaguanas. Charged with killing WPC and her family. Accused walks free without trial. That is a crazy story too, people. Read it. U.S. indicts Guyanese billionaire 1 month after elected to parliament. That's another piece of bacchanal. Girlfriend witnesses boyfriend fatally stabbed in Port of Spain. And burger with key, that's a question. .14 bar broken into, $23,000 stolen. Those are some of the stories in today's Express, and Richard will do the Newsday and Guardian.
Well, you should do the Guardian because it will be quicker.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
I'll do the Newsday then.
No, I can do the Newsday.
All right.
Actually, breakfast shed vendors open to talks. Forever 15 family marks what would have been Izzy's 17th birthday. Indigenous communities take center stage at 4th Indigenous Peoples Conference. One held, 2 guns seized in exercises. Chamber of Industry and Commerce calls for unity to address NCDs. Charges dismissed against Central woman in parking altercation with cops. New board for Chagaramas Development Authority. All of this is a budget announcement mistakenly shared by UNC PRO, and 10 local artists qualified to be considered for Grammy Awards. So that's some of the stories in the Newsday this morning. Over to the Guardian, Wendell.
All right. Army to be called into prisons. Minister Alexander promises sweeping changes to arrest rot in TNT's jails. Government sources says October 13th likely budget date after online post causes confusion. Foreign influences eroding TNT culture, says pundit. Prisons boast 626 drone sightings near facilities in 5 months. Army to be called into prisons. And housing minister says cabinet reassignments not a surprise. Those are some of the stories trending in The Guardian. All right. So those are all 3 newspapers for today. I guess we could take a couple calls whilst we put up the poll, and the poll will have to do with the budget date. But our guest in the second hour will be Dr. Christo Cave. We'll be talking breast cancer and health issues surrounding women, but not just women, men. Because men, as far as I'm aware, and we will find out from Dr. Cave, can also get breast cancer too, Richard, not so?
Who can get breast cancer, sorry?
Men.
I believe so.
Yeah, so we'll talk to Dr. Cave. It's a program that we would normally have on a Thursday, but to accommodate Dr. Cave, we brought it forward to Tuesday, today, right? So we'll get that program off and running today with Dr. Christo Cave, all right? But that story of the 626 drone sightings, is that crazy? Don't we always have a presence around the prisons?
Well, a police
Where the drones coming from?
The air. Was I clear?
You're very clear. You're rhyming too.
You're not walking along the road next to the police.
But where? They must be launched from somewhere, Richard.
Anywhere, depending on the range of the drone.
So we haven't tracked down not one of these drones.
Well, a lot
No,
of
they have intercepted. They have intercepted and they caught people on thing, you know.
Yeah.
For the drones?
Yeah, they held in a couple of them they held some people. But I mean with 600 and something.
626.
Yeah, but that's what I say. That is a real drop in the bucket.
So we have 624 drones that gone unaccounted for.
Well, it says 600, but what did they say exactly? 600 drone sightings. What does that mean?
626. They were specific with a number, Richard.
Right. So what does that mean? Was it somebody operating a drone? Let's go to Aruka. Somebody in some side street in a home operating a drone and saying, "Oh, let me get some footage of the highway," and they cross this prison and you go down to get footage of the highway. Does that count as one of the sightings?
I guess we had to get
because sightings have to be contextualized. Because if a drone is flying overhead, it may be flying overhead not necessarily for the prison. Or is it that they were hovering over the prison, so it was definitely a drone for the prison?
All right.
Or was it a flyby?
Let us not guess. Let's just do read a bit of the article, right? The prisons commissioner, who is Hayden Ford, acting, because it's always an acting prisons commissioner, has confirmed that there have been at least 626 drone sightings over national prisons in the last 6 months. I don't know why 6 months, that's the time of the government. Speaking on TV6's edition, Ford described drone activity as the greatest challenge currently facing the TTPS, which is Trinidad Prison Service. From April 4th, 2025, so that is just before elections, to October 4th, we have had at least, oh boy, Mr. Grant, stop calling my phone, my cell phone. He said most of the flights were observed over the maximum security prison where the largest population of inmates is held. The vast majority of those flights are at the maximum security prison because our greatest population is condensed at MSP. The greatest amount of remanded inmates are at MSP, so we've had flights at Port of Spain Prison and the ECRC, which is the Eastern Correctional and Rehabilitation Center. But the vast majority are at MSP. Ford explained that the drones are being used to drop contraband into prison compounds. So this is not people flying a drone looking to see what the highway look like, right? This is targeted at the prison.
That's what I'm saying. Is it specific incidents that they recorded? And
yes.
Is it the same drone? Is it like 5 drones that did the 600 visits, or is it 600 different? Well, they wouldn't be able to tell that.
But let me go ahead and read. Ford explained that the drones are being used to drop contraband into the prison compounds and that the prison service lacks the necessary technology to counter them. Imagine that. Those flights take place every single day without ease because there is open airspace and we are unable to properly treat with those drone drops. We do not have the technology nor the facility to treat with those at this current time. He said drone technology was urgently needed. We need to have the technology, and I'm not speaking about officers trying to run down drones with guns. I'm speaking about full coverage for all our estates. If we have one device with a particular radius, then any drone coming into that space can be detected. We can disable it, bring it down, or send it back to the handler. Why you want to send it back? Ford said the rogue prison officers, listen to this. Ford said rogue prison officers were complicit in trafficking operations. They are individuals at MSP who, it is reported, if a package is dropped in the airing yard, will allow persons to go and retrieve it. We have those reports. So officers are involved in that aspect of trafficking, and as far as I'm concerned, they are gang members. Isn't that crazy that we still talking this after prison break and people get killed and things?
Yeah, what is happening with the I'm sorry, Charles, what is happening with, because my auntie Rosin is calling me, which means that there's still no volume on Gaia because she watches the show.
Yeah, well, I sent a message. That one I have no control over. So I sent a message to those individuals, and people, we are taking your calls, right, 2811315 and 2995156 just before we get into the poll. Right, and
of course, we had talked about the budget a little bit this morning, even though y'all probably wouldn't have heard. But the issue of that budget, they bumbling, and it has to be called bumbling, and unnecessary bumbling. It's an unnecessary distraction, quite frankly. That's something as simple as the budget day that you can't get right, and it's mired in some sort of almost farcical toing and froing. It's silly.
Yeah.
All right, let's take the call. Caller, good morning to you. Rockaway, good morning.
Morning.
Morning to all. Morning, Rockaway.
Hello?
Go ahead, we're here.
Go ahead, we're here.
Yeah. You're breaking up on the phone. Something's wrong with the phone. However, with respect to the drones, I'll just make a quick comment. Be it 600 drones, 600 flights, they want to see the highway, they want to see the river, whatever they want to see. Drones should no way be above a maximum security prison. That is a total no-no. Don't care what they are for, if they're just going to sightsee, if they go, whatever they're going for. Drones should no way be above the maximum security prison. So thinking about what they are and what they're about, I think is a bit irrelevant. All right? Thank you, gentlemen. That's my contribution respecting the drones.
Well, you may have come to that conclusion before I read the story, because the story did say they are dropping all stuff in the prison yard, and prison officers are allowing prisoners to come and pick up the stuff.
Yeah, well, prison officers for the longest while have been creating more problems than anybody else in the prison,
Well, some prison officers.
Well, yeah. Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, good morning. Are you all hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Loud and clear.
All right. Wonderful program as usual. I want to say that I have been observing the significant reduction in the crime statistics in terms of the murder rate. It was about 300 and something last year around this time, or 400 and something, and I'm saying that it's 275 around there. But unfortunately, I'm not hearing much conversation or much talk about that. So, although we have been in a state of emergency for most of the year, it's a big commendation to the relevant authorities in government, the police service, and all the authorities in this significant reduction. As a matter of fact, I think yesterday there was an article in one of the newspapers saying that if the trend continues, this will be the lowest murder rate in over a decade. So that is some good news actually, right? So have a good day and wonderful program.
Yeah,
Thanks
very much, Kola.
We did raise that issue of the murder rate already, and due to the
when we were speaking with Junior Benjamin, we commended the police
he did
for that.
raise it. Yeah, he gave the
well, kudos to the police because you got criticized if it's high.
Yeah,
so you have to get your applause that it's lowering. It's still way too high. But at least it's going in the correct direction.
What has increased, concomitant with the lowering of the murder rate, I'm using a lot of big words these days. People tell me I'm a big word man.
A big word man.
Is the police killings. That is the worrying part. The amount of police killings we've had. You know, I don't want to be excoriated this morning for giving the correct information.
I like it. The big word man. Hey, hello, good morning to you, Kola.
Good morning, gentlemen. Norfolk, Virginia, front and center. It's not it's not anything your fault with the technicalities that you're experiencing right now, technical hiccups. It's actually a basic thing, your internet connection, because when I play anything else on YouTube, it plays clearly. And I know Sir Charles is a total professional in what he does. So it's not your fault. It definitely is your basic internet provider is causing your problems. Also, in relation to the drones, I am not surprised, but I'm appalled that the airspace within sensitive areas of Trinidad, where we have some top graduates from the best military colleges all over the world, don't by now have restricted airspace zones within Trinidad. This is appalling. And this is no PNM or UNC pong here. Both of them, I'm saying. Anyway, thank you very much. And you guys have a good day, okay? And October 7th, it's when the great Satan, Iran, and their proxies destabilized the Middle East and divided this world a lot more. That's why I meant by today is October 7th. But everybody forget that, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Where you get that from?
Yeah, where you get that from? I never hear that. But
that's from Iran.
But I will check it out. Thanks very much.
Let me read that. Richard's supposed to know that. Richard is a biblical child.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it doesn't exist. We just have not heard it. But thanks much. Yeah. Maybe the problem in Trinidad and Tobago, maybe we could ask the US to probably help us out with that situation with the drones flying over our space. Because clearly we don't have anything to secure it, rather than to do like the people on Sesame Street and say, please do not fly your drones across here. You know, over the weekend, a friend of mine in Southwest Trinidad was actually showing, taking some pictures of some drones on Southwest Trinidad flying over that area. Yeah.
These are drones that just flying, you know. These are drones that come in and drop in contraband stuff in the prisons that the prison officer is saying they can't do anything about. That is crazy.
Well, they maybe have nothing to shoot down drones.
Yeah, but even if you can't shoot them down, or as he say, technology to stop them or send them back to the handler. Prison officers are picking up this stuff and carrying it to the prisoners or whoever. You could do something about that. Anyway, our poll is up, people. Are you disappointed that a budget day has not been announced as yet? That's our poll this morning. Vote on it during our news time, and when we come back, we'll read the poll. And of course, our guest will be Dr. Christo Cave in the second hour. All right?
Okay, we'll be back.
Keep voting. We want plenty votes on this one.
Yeah, all the vote, plenty vote. We want to pass 72.
All right.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean. I'm Derek. The government is moving to immediately review the power purchase agreements with PowerGen and Trinidad Generation Unlimited. Public Utilities Minister Barry Patarath made the announcement while attending Ram Leela celebrations in Dow Village, California, on Sunday. He said the agreements have been left untouched for years and that discussions will soon begin with T&Tech, PowerGen, TGU, and the NGC to make electricity generation more efficient and profitable. Minister Patarath also revealed plans to utilize excess electrical power to generate new revenue and to upgrade the Cove Power Plant in Tobago in collaboration with the Tobago House of Assembly. He said the goal is to ensure the nation's energy system remains modern, reliable, and sustainable. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles says many citizens feel abandoned by the UNC since the April 28 general election. Beckles, who also leads the PNM, made the comment during a meeting with her party's Toco Sangre Grande constituency executive on October 1st. She later posted on Facebook that some MPs have failed to meet their constituents, leaving people without real representation. The UNC won the election 28-13-2, with Defense Minister Wayne Sturge now representing Toco Sangre Grande, previously held by the PNN's Roger Monroe. Beckles said the PNM remains committed to rebuilding trust, reconnecting with citizens, and restoring hope, accusing the UNC government of failing thousands and putting over 45,000 people out of work. She encouraged PNM members to stay engaged with the people they serve, saying leadership must be rooted in humility and accountability. The T&T Blind Welfare Association is urging the Ministry of Health to add essential sight-saving drugs for glaucoma and diabetic retinopathy to the Chronic Disease Assistance Program, or CDAP. The call comes after Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo announced new medications for heart disease, hypertension, and other conditions under the revised program. The association says many patients face stock shortages of glaucoma eye drops and cannot afford private treatment. It's also calling for anti-VEGF injections used to treat diabetic eye disease to be made available in public hospitals. The group warns that without access to these drugs, many citizens risk avoidable blindness. It is written to Minister Bodo, seeking a meeting to discuss urgent action. A Port of Spain man was stabbed to death on Sunday morning during a confrontation involving his girlfriend and an ex-lover. Police say 27-year-old Michael Francis, also known as Boy Boy, was stabbed once in the chest during an argument at the corner of George and Prince Streets near Pago Spar. Francis was taken to the Port of Spain General Hospital, where he died just after 11 a.m. The suspect fled the scene and is still on the run. Homicide detectives and crime scene investigators are continuing inquiries. A Laventil man charged with the brutal murders of a policewoman, her family, and a friend more than 18 years ago has been freed. Justice Maria Busby Earl Cattle ruled that the evidence against 39-year-old Zwadi Gomez was inadmissible, effectively ending the state's case. Gomez of True Macaque Road was jointly charged with Daniel Mendoza for the 2007 murders of WPC Elizabeth Sutherland, her husband Ivan, their daughter Anika, and family friend Kevin Surrett at their Morvant home. The judge found that Gomez's police interview and caution statement, the only evidence linking him to the crime, could not be admitted. Gomez was represented by Delicia Helwig Robertson and Axia Edwards, while Anju Bola Makwan appeared for the DPP. Justice Busby Earl Cattle is expected to deliver her ruling in Mendoza's case next week. In the region, Guyanese billionaire and opposition leader Ezruddin Mohammed has been indicted by a U.S. grand jury on multiple fraud and money laundering charges. Mohammed, who recently led his We Invest in Nationhood, WIN, party to become Guyana's main opposition, is accused alongside his father, Nazir Shell Mohammed, of tax evasion involving gold exports and the importation of a luxury Lamborghini. U.S. authorities allege the pair reused official seals to make it appear that taxes and royalties were paid on millions of dollars worth of gold shipments. They also allegedly falsified invoices to undervalue a U.S. $680,000 Lamborghini, avoiding more than $1 million in taxes. If convicted, both men could face up to 20 years in prison and heavy fines. In international news, Israeli and Hamas officials began indirect peace talks in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt on Monday, aimed at ending the two-year war in Gaza under a U.S.-drafted plan. The discussions, mediated by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States, focus on a proposed ceasefire, the release of hostages, and a partial withdrawal of Israeli forces. Despite U.S. President Donald Trump's call to halt bombings, Israeli airstrikes continued overnight, killing at least 19 people. According to Gaza's health ministry, Trump's plan calls for Hamas to disarm and release the remaining hostages in exchange for prisoner releases. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi praised the U.S. effort, calling it vital for Middle East stability. The Vatican also urged restraint, saying both sides must respect human life and proportionality in the conflict. And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether on the go or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Join me, Brother David Muhammad, every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, Powerful Radio. Join me to hear knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Mornings just got better. You're locked into Net Radio Breakfast Show, fueling your day with the best music and real talk.
Sexy
Yeah. We're loving all of your ways, especially your sexy ways. Hey, everybody, welcome inside the second hour of the Breakfast Show, right here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio, and of course, Gael Caribbean. We welcome you people, and thank you very much for being here. Just to let you know, little house cleaning, that when we come off of the TV stream and the YouTube and Facebook stream on the mornings, you can get us all day at newerattradio.com, New Era TT Radio on TuneIn. And you can also pick us up for the Drive Time Exchange, all right, from 4 p.m. So continue to vote on the poll. Remember, you vote in yes or no first, and then you put in your comments, all right? So we will be back in a short.
Don't miss Furniture Plus Inventory Blowout Sale. Get up to 65% off in-store and online. Enjoy massive savings on furniture, appliances, and more. Hurry, this deal won't last. Shop now and save big at Furniture Plus.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davante tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
People can't get enough of the number 1 comedy of 2025. You don't leave foul to watch Corn. It's now at Cipriani College on Saturday the 11th of October at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Dancho is real baccaral.
Tickets available now at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Wednesday 8th of October, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily.
Don't play mad and miss this show, you know.
I see that show 3 times. Henna is the best.
You don't leave foul to watch Corn. The Bacchanal continues.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Okay, we are back.
Today is going to be one of those days. Trust me. The heat is crazy these last few days. I mean, my plants, I had to save them this morning. They were wilting. The heat is crazy, you know? But anyway.
Your plant?
Yeah?
Your plants, you see?
Yeah, my plants. I love plants, you know, and I have lots of plants that are flowering. Whenever I buy those little packs with seeds that flower, and so I have them flowering now. A lot of them are flowering. I have what they call it, oh help, you know. I have
Marijuana?
All manner of plants outside. But I have orchids that whenever I eat a banana, I put the banana skin in the orchid. If you all don't know that, banana skins are very good for orchids, and they flower right through the year. If you see my orchids, and they're all beautiful.
Yeah, but do you have any marijuana plants?
No. I have a plant. Actually, one of the plants that I have looks like marijuana, but they have a beautiful flower that is coming out of it. I don't know if marijuana plants flower, but I will try to grow in marijuana because I'm successful at growing anything. But when I harvest it, I'll guess that. Is male trees you allowed to have or female trees? What's the tree you allowed to have? Male?
I'm not too sure.
allowed to have 4.
Right, but I think it's a male plant.
No, well, one version doesn't produce the kind of thing that people would want.
Just keep the female away from the male. Put the female in one corner. Put the male in the next corner.
I'm no expert on it because I don't know.
Hey,
I think
guys,
one of them doesn't yield what you want that people who use marijuana.
Yeah. I'll try growing it one day.
I think the only restriction we have is that you could do up to 4 per person.
Per person.
Yeah.
The last thing I want is police coming in this yard. Police love because you see me and police. Yesterday I had a police experience. You see one of those videos I shared? They had a huge roadblock exercise by Mandela Park, Roxy, just before Roxy roundabout there. And this traffic warden came out in the middle of the road and stopped me. And I said, "But what's she stopping me for?" And then she stopped the other car and tell me, "Go so. Send me up St. Clair Avenue." So I drive up St. Clair Avenue. I go on my way. Only to realize they have an exercise on St. Clair. So I don't know if she was trying to tell me to stop in the exercise, to be pulled over. I went my way because she issued no instruction. She just point me in a direction. I went the direction and go my way.
Well, at least she didn't do like the traffic warden that tell the man to pull in the taxi stand and then give him a ticket for parking on the taxi stand.
That's sort of them. Anyway.
Just before we get into the detail, guys.
Because they had a man on the ground handcuffing him, a policeman have his foot on top of the man, a man in khaki. I said, well, what kind of bacchanal is all this going on in St. James?
Anyhow, before we get into the poll and everything else, let me just send out some happy birthday greetings going out to Frances Brown, who's celebrating her birthday today. So
Frances.
Happy birthday to you, Miss Brown.
All right. Frances with the E. Yeah. All right. So you ready for a poll? You want to put it back up, Richard, please? Also, Charles?
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah. Are you disappointed that a budget day has not been announced as yet? Of course, a budget day was leaked by the PRO and by a certain government minister. They soon removed it. So we don't know when is budget day, people. Derek Billion says yes. Magic, good question, Wendell. Wendell is Ava Smith, yes. Gregory Boyer, yes. Miguel Gonzalez, yes. Susan Jessup, yes. Michael Oliver, yes. Joyce Phillip, yes. Jason Samuel, no. Hilary Zan, yes. GH, yes. Lori, yes. Joyce Phillip is saying she heard Dave Tanku, the minister himself, announce it. I'm not sure if that's correct. Patricia Defoe, yes. Anne Noel, yes. Florence Bazi, yes. Robert Taylor, yes. Eunice Dublin, yes. Magic, yes. Bernadette Yates, no. Keith Clark, yes. Michael Robinson, yes. Apollinaus, yes. They say people are saying it was announced on TV6 last night, but they soon pulled back that release that was issued, right? Katie said no. Apollinaus, yes. Suzanne Jessup, yes. Beauty Culture, yes. Diane Payne, yes. DeSantis Jr., no. Jennifer, yes. Slick Money Grip, no. Lots of chat here. Finbar Collins, yes. Sherma Paul, yes. Michael Cadet, yes. Alistair Hart, yes. And Sankofa said no. All right.
Okay, so on the WhatsApp, we have Robert saying yes. Captain Ron saying yes. Horatio saying yes. Kenwin, did you vote? Are they going to? No, Kenwin talking about budget. All right. Moving along, Pauline says yes. Fifi says yes. Laverne says yes. Judith says yes. Raymond says yes. Frank says no. Dabidi says yes. And Long Islander says yes. Oh, and one other person just gave me the rights. Sean says no.
And I have one more, Richard. Well, two more. Alistair Hart, yes. I think I said that. Andre said yes. All right, that's it there.
So our poll this morning, are you disappointed that a budget day has not been announced as yet? We had 48 people voting in the allotted time. Of the 48 people voting this morning, 40 of you said yes, 40 of you said yes, and 8 of you said no, you're not disappointed that the budget day has not been announced as yet. So 40 people said yes, so the yeas have it this morning in terms of the poll results. So that's it for our poll for today. It is now at an end. And of course, we'll be going into an interview with Dr. Cave in the next minute or so.
Yeah, my apologies, Trini in Boston. She said I didn't call her vote. She said yes also. But I think the majority is yes.
Yeah, so she would just be 41. We'll just take it up to 41 and then 48. But, you know, it's time for our Let's Talk segment, and we have Dr. Cave on standby, so let's get into that. So good morning, Dr. Cave.
Good morning. Hi.
And thanks so much for joining us on the Breakfast Show. We appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Good morning, everyone.
Taking the time to speak with us.
Morning, Dr. Cave. Thanks for joining the show. Like, you want to give Derek, our newsreader, some competition there?
How's that? Why is it?
The ladies in the chat will respond. They don't know. They will know what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. No problem. Thank you.
Dr. Cave, we wanted to talk about breast cancer this morning.
Yes.
And get a perspective on it, because we try to have medical segments that is informative and relevant to our listening audience.
Definitely important.
And adding, value to their lives. So in terms of breast cancer, in a Trinidad and Tobago context, how much of a problem is it, and how deadly is it in a Trinidad and Tobago context in 2025?
Right. So it's an important health problem, of course, in a Trinidad and Tobago context. Now, all my medical school career and training career, you've been hearing breast cancer rates have been a lifetime risk of 1 in 9 or 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer. But more recently, according to the Elizabeth Commoner Cancer Registry in Trinidad and Tobago, saw some startling figures that is actually closer to 1 in 6. So if you're in a room with 6 women, statistically in Trinidad and Tobago, one of them may have breast cancer in their lifetime. So it's getting more and more common as women are becoming more aware, as medical resources are improving as well. Now, in terms of deadly, of course, we know with cancer, there is a chance that patients may die from the cancer. Yes, that is absolutely true. But what we want to enforce as medical professionals that it is not a death sentence. There is treatment available. There are various options of treatment available for anyone diagnosed with breast cancer, but it really depends on what stage they are diagnosed at. So in terms of deadly, we don't like to put it in terms of a negative spin or stigma, because there's already such a great stigma attached to breast cancer that make people scared to get any sort of treatment, because in their heads, it's only negative that can come out. But no, there are thousands and thousands of women who have positive experiences and come out and become survivors. So it's really important to get that point across.
What would be the main causes of breast cancer, and how would someone who is afraid of going to the doctor, who's not financially able to go to a doctor, how would they be able to detect it early?
So the main causes, I would say, with breast cancer, the most common cause would be something that happens to every woman and men as well. Let's not forget the men. Men can get breast cancer, approximately 1%.
I was going to get into that after.
Yeah.
Leave the men out for now.
Yeah, we'll leave the men out for now, no problem.
Yeah.
So the main risk factor is advancing age. So as we get younger in life, our immune system and our cells get a little bit less able to keep in check the division and turnover rate of cells. So that's the leading risk, advancing age. But there are other risk factors as well. There are risk factors that we can change, called modifiable, and there are non-modifiable risk factors as well. The non-modifiable risk factors that you can't change, well, one, your gender, being female, being more at risk of breast cancer, as well as your family history. You can't control who your relatives are. And in some families, there's a preponderance of cancers, including breast cancer, it relates to certain genetic mutations that can occur. And in these families, the women of these families who carry these gene defects are at an increased risk of having breast cancer. But the modifiable ones that we really like to pay attention to and enforce are these risk factors that everyone should have for a general healthy lifestyle. No smoking, limited alcohol usage, getting good sleep. Actually, one of the new risk factors in terms of breast cancer and other cancers is actually shift work. People who have disturbances in their circadian rhythm, their sleep cycles, actually is a risk factor for getting breast cancer now as well. And obesity as well, avoiding foods that are very high in calories, high in saturated fats. So obesity is also a very important risk factor for breast cancer. And to your second question, how can someone who feels or presents with a symptom of breast disease find their way to a doctor? That was the second question, right? How can someone get to a doctor?
Yes. How could they detect?
Yeah. So any woman who senses a change in either of their breasts, any of the health centers that we have around, there are walk-in days that they can go visit a general practitioner and be able to have a history taken and an exam done. And that general practitioner can then send them for investigations, as well as refer them to one of the hospital systems that will allow for further treatment should it be necessary.
But we've always heard about a self-test that women, in fact, can do. What exactly is that?
Right. So the breast, a breast self-exam, so women examining their breast themselves. Now, there are many videos online about how medical professionals can teach women how to examine their breasts in a very structured, systematic way, in terms of knowing their breast, knowing where to place their hands, how to examine in a clockwise or anti-clockwise way from the outside to in or inside to out, and as well as squeezing the nipple to see if there's any discharge. There are many debates on breast self-exams, because you try not to have it too military, try not to have it too strict and rigid. So literally, however a woman feels comfortable examining their breasts, it doesn't have to be to the level of a medical professional. It just has to be done. You just have to pay attention to how your breasts feel, and not just how your breasts feel on a day-to-day basis, but the change your breasts will go through as you menstruate, because the menstrual cycle does have an effect on the way a woman's breasts will feel. Coming closer to their monthlies, they will get, someone will get engorgement, someone will get some tenderness, and a change in the character of the breast tissue. So it's all about that woman knowing their exact breast tissue composition, how it feels to them as they go through their monthly cycles.
But what should they be checking for, Dr. Keith?
Right. They're checking for anything different to what they normally feel. Because some women will tell you they have lumpy breasts, that their breasts just have a preponderance of lumps all around, and that could be normal for them. So what they are examining for is a change, any single change, whether it be a change in the skin, change in the nipple, a discharge from the nipple being pulled inwards, what we call nipple inversion, any change. That's all we want to know. If there is a change, you should seek medical counsel.
In terms of mammograms, though, because mammograms are tools that women can use, and I know usually, I think, is it from age 40 onwards, they can get mammograms, and they should have them every other year. If you can give some information on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So digital mammography is critical in the role of screening and as well as diagnosis when someone has a lump. Now, it really should be done from the age of 40. According to the Ministry of Health guidelines, they ask us to tell patients you can do it every 2 to 3 years based on your risk, because there are some women who will be average risk, and there are some women who will be at an increased risk of breast cancer. Those patients who have a family history, those patients who would have received therapeutic dosages of radiation for other medical treatments such as lymphoma. So patients who can assess their own risk actually. So there are certain websites that you can go on. There are certain risk calculators that women can do easily on their phone. Just need a phone with data on it. You can type in something called the IBIS tool, like the Scarlet IBIS, the IBIS 2 risk calculator, and it asks you a series of questions about your age, your weight, first menstrual cycle, whether you have children, family history, and it can actually give you your 10-year risk and lifetime risk of breast cancer. And if you are at an elevated risk, that would mean you would need to do mammograms a bit more frequently than those of average risk, who can do every 2 or 3 years. So the interval really depends on your risk stratification. And if you're not versed on being able to do your own calculator, presenting to your general practitioner is fine enough. They will give you more information as to where do you fall in the risk stratification to know how often or when you should start doing the mammograms. Because there's some women who will actually need to screen from before the age of 40 because of their particular risk stratification.
Right. But are mammograms accessible in the public health sector, or is something you have to go to the private sector?
It is accessible in the public sector. Unfortunately, it's just not as accessible as we would want it to be. It's a situation where the demand definitely outweighs the supply. The pickup rate for mammograms in the public health sector is not enough for us to have a national screening program at this point in time. We just don't have enough machines and technicians, and the entire hospital protocol in terms of trying to get a screening program in. We're not just there yet. So what we have to utilize is our best resources, the human resource, education and knowledge, and trying to get women to realize that this is very treatable. It is something you should check for, and to eradicate the stigma associated with breast cancer. But we do have access to it in hospitals. Our hospitals are doing as best as they can with the resources that they have. I mean, we have staff that come out on weekends. We have people that dedicate a lot of their time, even time they would have taken vacation, to try to clear up the backlogs, because there are a lot of backlogs of women waiting on mammography, and not just waiting on the test, but waiting on the results of that test. We have a lot of dedicated radiologists who are working overtime trying to clear up as much backlogs as possible. But there's only so much you can do with the resources and time that you have. But yes,
is there a lot of uptake in terms of well, I suppose the better way of raising the question to you is the education of women on the importance of mammograms post age 40 resonating with women above that age, and are they coming out to do their mammograms?
Well, it is getting better than it was, say, 5-10 years ago. It is getting much better through the work of a lot of social activists and healthcare programs, and just having women talking about their experiences. Let's say the Trinidad and Tobago Cancer Society, on their webpage, they have actual stories of women who've been diagnosed, and they share their stories and their journey through breast cancer survivorship. So it is getting better, where women are getting more educated. Women have the knowledge and the means and the know-how and the support, because support is really important. I still find seeing patients in my clinic who will feel a lump and they will tell no one, and they will try to go this alone. And that's where I think we need to improve upon. Patients feeling like there's no support. They don't want to tell their family, they don't want to tell their church members, their close friends, because they feel like once this news is out, that's all it's going to be about them, that they will just be labeled as a patient with breast cancer, and that's all anybody's going to see about them. They're going to forget themselves as a person and rather be themselves the breast cancer patient. And that's where I think we are improving in terms of educating women that no, there is treatment. It's not a death sentence. This is something that you can live with and thrive from and recover from.
Dr. Cave, what's the worst case scenario for someone with breast cancer? One, and can the cancer from a breast spread to other parts of the body?
Yes. So that is actually, you actually inadvertently answered your first question, that yes, that is the worst case scenario, that someone presents at a very late or advanced stage, what we call stage 4, where it has spread to other organs. However, even in that late stage 4 phase, it's still not a death sentence. There is still treatment depending on that patient's presentation, depending on their performance status. Is it someone who is still up and about, still able to do their own things? In a patient like that, even if it has spread to other organs, there is still treatment. Now, statistically, their survival would be less. We have something in cancer treatment called the 5-year survival rate, meaning the probability someone is going to live 5 years after this diagnosis. And with treatment, the 5-year survival rate has gotten better with patients in stage 4, what we call terminal breast cancer. I mean, it's not at the stage of someone who would be at stage 1, it's not that survival probability. But no, there are patients who have lived 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years with metastatic, that's the clinical term, or cancer that has breast cancer that has spread to other organs, and they've been managed by our really well-trained and excellently performing oncologists at the various institutions about the country.
But connected to that question, when does a mastectomy become an option in terms of treatment of breast cancer?
Right.
Because I know a lot of women feel less than if they have to lose a breast. And it's an emotional
yes, it is,
an experience for them. So when does that become an option? Yeah.
Right. So that question, there are seminars that can be held on that question alone. So the answer to that question is it is so algorithmic in its nature. A mastectomy comes into play when the woman has presented with all her clinical history, her exam, her imaging, her biopsy, when all that points to disease that is more likely to come back in the future than not. And when it cannot be excised completely in one procedure safely, those are the kind of patients you think would do better with a mastectomy. Also, the ones who are at a very high risk of having breast cancer again in the future, those are the ones with genetic mutations such as the BRCA gene. So the most common, most well-known gene mutation in breast cancer is called BRCA, BRCA. Those patients would definitely benefit from mastectomy. And also, more importantly, now that there are improved techniques to be able to remove lumps and preserve the breast, it is fallen on the woman to make the decision. Because once a woman presents early enough in breast cancer and they don't have these increased risks that we are talking about, and they are a candidate for what we call radiotherapy after, because ideally breast cancer patients who have just the lump removed should have radiation, apart from a small select few patients. So once they can have radiation, once it is safe to remove just the lump alone, and that will not cause a detriment to their long-term survival, it's really up to the patient. Now, as you said, it is an emotional decision. It is an emotional point to think that you're going to lose something that was attached to your body for your entire life, something that gave you your idea of femininity and your sense of body image. But on the flip side, there are patients who don't want, upon hearing this diagnosis, they are so frightened that this can come back in the future that mastectomy is the only ever option they would ever see. No matter how you counsel them that no, there are equivalents there's an equivalence in survival between having the lump removed, having radiation and treatment afterwards, to having a mastectomy. You will survive comparably the same length of time according to the trials and the data and the guidelines that we have to go with. But there are some women that even when hearing all this counseling and hearing that there are survival stories of women who were able to preserve their breast and cancer never came back, they will still opt for a mastectomy because they are so afraid of this coming back. They would rather, you know what, doc, I don't want any breast tissue anymore. I'm fine having a flat chest, or I'm fine with the option of reconstruction, which we do have in Trinidad and Tobago. We do have the facility to do implant reconstructions where we place an implant or what's called a prosthetic breast implant, or taking tissue from some other part of the body and putting it at the mastectomy site. So there are options, whether the patient wants it or not.
Well, you actually answered my next question there, the issue of a prosthetic breast. I didn't know it existed.
Yes,
They do
yes.
that. But But Dr. Cave, as you answer that question, I just wanted to open up the lines because, of course, we are men here, and of course, women may have more questions.
No problem.
And whilst we waited on that call, though, Dr. Cave,
yes,
let's touch on the men for now. Let's touch on the men quickly.
Yes.
What presents in a man to get breast cancer? Is it the same as a woman?
It would be similar lines. A lump on the chest wall that was not there before. It's usually close to the nipple because that's where if they were to have breast tissue that remains, that's the site it usually be concentrated just behind the nipple. So a lump that's usually around or behind the nipple. But another thing that men get is something called gynecomastia, which is a benign overgrowth of the female type of breast tissue. And it happens for a number of reasons. And there are 3 times in a man's life where it can actually be a normal variant, this thing called gynecomastia. It could be at birth. It could be during the adolescent phase when there are changes in hormonal levels of testosterone and estrogen occur, and elderly when that testosterone level drops. A man can get gynecomastia. So
break down that term because a lot of people.
So gynecomastia is female breast tissue in a man. Yeah.
So they're looking like they have female breasts.
They're looking like they have female.
Plenty men have that, doctor.
Well, a few. It is much more common than you would think. And one of the reasons that it also occurs is not just because of the intrinsic nature of our hormonal changes as we get older. It's also because of some of the medications and diets and lifestyle risk factors that we have. So alcohol is actually a risk factor for gynecomastia, as well as liver disease, as well as certain medications like steroid medications, anabolic medications that men may take to increase muscle mass and that sort of thing. Those are some of the risk factors, the more common risk factors that we have for gynecomastia.
Is it prevalent in different ethnic groups? Is it particularly prevalent in any particular ethnic group?
So I would say across the ethnic groups it's similar. It's just that the most data we have from gynecomastia would come from the Caucasian population. But I would say in my experience, it's quite prevalent across all ethnic groups.
Yeah. Well, you used alcohol just now, and that covers every ethnic group.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
Yeah. We have any calls yet, Sir Charles?
Yeah, it's now coming in, so.
Yeah, let's get some calls because we have a lot of people on the chat talking. I don't know if you're seeing the chat too, Dr. Cave, whilst you're talking.
No.
There's some questions or some comments on the chat.
Right.
Most of which we covered already.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
So
Caller, good morning to you. Yeah. Caller, good morning.
Yes, good morning all again. Norfolk, Virginia, front and center, and good morning again to the good doctor.
Good morning.
Doctor, I wanted to ask you, when one gets diagnosed with any type of specific area cancer, is there like a general screening to see if you can have it in other forms, in other parts of your anatomy? Let's say you were diagnosed with colon cancer, for example, and a lot of men used to think that men can get, breast cancer. Can you have like different types of cancer?
Yes.
In the body?
Yes.
And lastly, before I leave you, if those of you who remember Shaft, Richard Wrongtree, I think he passed some time ago, the late great Richard Wrongtree Shaft, he actually had breast cancer and he went very public with it, and he was a great ambassador against the disease. But thank you again, good doctor. And before I leave you, a lady here wants me to let you know that you look almost like a TNT version of a young Denzel Washington when he.
Oh my goodness!
So I don't know if you've heard that before.
You're not too kind.
Have a good day, sir. Bye.
You're really too kind.
All right,
are PET scans worth it?
So,
I think that's one of the screening things that
just to get to that caller's question, it is absolutely possible and has happened before that patients have had different types of cancer unrelated to each specific type in their body. There are patients who've had colon cancer as well as lung cancer, but they're not the same, because the typical thing to think is that if you have a cancer somewhere, it can spread to the lung. But no, there have been patients who've had breast cancer, colon cancer, stomach cancer, and a cancer in the lung or the brain or the kidneys that is completely unrelated. It's a different cell type to that first cancer that was diagnosed. So yeah, there are some people who goes back to the same genetic predisposition. Their genes have defects in them that would alter the way in which their cells divide and the way in which our immune system controls how these cells divide, because it's not abnormal to have cells that divide irregularly. It's just patients with good immune systems, the usual cohort, the usual population. The immune system actually gets rid of these cells. But in some patients, there's some defect that either allows the body to miss these cells that are dividing irregularly, which is what a cancer is, or it has the cells that will divide irregularly regardless of how good your immune system. So there are patients who will have two different types of cancers in their body. And
but in terms of because you mentioned colonoscopy or colon cancer, and a colonoscopy, of course, is the preventative investigation of it. And the recommendation is that men of color from age 45, they should start having colonoscopies. But colonoscopies are not, don't come under health insurance in Trinidad and Tobago.
Right.
Generally, it doesn't come under it. And I always wondered why it is that the medical associations in Trinidad and Tobago don't actively lobby insurance companies and or the government to make sure that insurance companies do cover colonoscopies, because it's an important part of preventative health care.
It is definitely an important part. It's so important in that if you were to look at the screening for colon cancer and the screening for, let's say, breast cancer, the test that screens for colon cancer, the colonoscopy, can actually prevent a cancer in the future. That's how important the colonoscopy is, because the way in which colon cancer works, it starts as a small polyp that is not a cancer, but eventually that polyp takes about, on average, between 5 and 15 years to become a cancer, depending on the type of cancer it is and the way in which that cancer is structured. It's between 5 and 15 years. Now, the colonoscopy, you can actually remove the polyp during the colonoscopy and it will never have chance to turn into a cancer. That's how important colonoscopies are. So, yes, but I do believe there is work going on in the background to try to get colonoscopies much more available.
I wish you could just drink something and these things could go away, a bottle of medication or a tablet and these things could go.
I wish it was so. Now, there is, strangely enough, there is a cancer where there is something that you can just take, like a vaccine, and it can go away, and it falls into our pillars of society, our women, for cervical cancer, because 99.9% of cervical cancers are related to HPV, and there is an HPV vaccine. So yeah, there is something that for that specific cancer, so there is something that you can take to safeguard your chances of getting cervical cancer in the future. It's usually for teenage girls before. Part of their...
Is a PET scan worth it?
No, that depends. It depends on what cancer we're talking about and the presentation or the stage at which we are. Because the PET scan, it detects activity. So you also have to take into account the patient and their comorbidities. So it detects cells that have a higher metabolic rate than the other cells. So there are already parts of the body that are at a higher metabolic rate than other parts of the body, such as the kidneys, the thyroid gland, etc. So if you have a cancer, and this is a cancer that is known to spread very quickly, such as esophageal cancer or gastric cancer, those cancers are the ones that you should have a PET scan for, because they are what we call the silent killers, the silent abdominal cancers that spread very, very quickly. And they spread to the point where if you were to do a CT scan, you may not see it because they're just cells, which is why the PET scan, which detects the function or the metabolic activity of these cells, is so important. So those cancers, they definitely advocate for having PET scans as part of their workup once they're at the established phase, especially if what we call the lymph nodes around the cancer are suspicious. Those cancers, definitely they would want a PET scan for. Breast cancer is not one of those cancers where you need to have a PET scan to see if there's any disease elsewhere. It's in certain cases, if your CT scan is inconclusive, meaning if you have a CT scan being diagnosed with breast cancer and they think they see something in your liver, they think they see something in your lung, but it's not too well characterized, and they try an MRI machine and that's still inconclusive, maybe it's an option after discussing it with expert radiologists. But to say off the bat, every cancer needs a PET scan, that's not it's not cost effective one, and it will create even more bottlenecks in a patient's treatment pathway. So PET scan it really is dependent on what cancer we're talking about and the stage at which we're talking about that particular cancer.
Yeah.
Just to feed off
of,
no, we don't have the call as yet, but I don't know where are all the ladies this morning. Anyhow, I have a question, kind of feed it off what Wendell was talking about, why there isn't an injection or anything like that just to take. You see a lot of things on social media. People are selling all the manner of stuff, talking about alkalizing the body and that sort of thing. Do those things actually work? Is it advisable to keep the body more alkalized to prevent these cancers?
There's no concrete evidence to suggest that. I mean, someone can find a paper you can pull anything from the internet to support an argument. That's just how vast the World Wide Web is. But one paper doesn't make it a strict science or a strict guideline. So I would take information strictly from sources such as like the World Health Organization and the national guidelines of developed nations like the US and Canada and the UK, and try to take things with a pinch of salt if you hear things about alkalization and trying to get your body more alkaline. I mean, they very well could be right. It's just we don't have the large-scale trials and level 1 evidence, as we call it, to say that, yes, for sure that works, you have to do that. I'm not in a position to say, yes, that is true, or no, it is false. Maybe in time, as more studies are done, maybe we could say, these people were right all along. But as of right now, I can't say that it's entirely 100% factual.
Yeah. Touching back on the men issue, Dr. Cave, how prevalent is breast cancer in men? And have you ever had 1%? A man had his breast removed?
Yes, that has happened. Yep. So it's 1% of all breast cancers diagnosed, but it's probably getting a bit less than 1%. So it's about 1% of all breast cancer. So we're talking about like 1 in every 600, 1 in every 700, 1 in every, sorry, I got my maths wrong there. So 1 in every 100 breast cancer diagnoses. So we're looking at probably in the population, your lifetime chance of a man is probably like 1 in probably 1,500 men will get breast cancer. So yes, we have had men who've had mastectomies and had their lymph nodes under the armpit removed because of breast cancer. But we've also had men who presented with this breast cancer at such an elderly age, their performance statuses were not such that they would handle an operation, and they would just receive a hormonal tablet to kind of keep the cancer at bay, keep those cells kind of locked into their position and prevent them from spreading and and dividing further and growing. So they have had tablet sort of treatment without having to undergo rigorous surgery and recovery and that sort of thing. But that's just their performance status at that point in time when they're diagnosed very elderly, very frail. They wouldn't be someone who would benefit or handle a surgery very well.
Now, a comment in the chat earlier on spoke of, and I don't know if you could touch on this, spoke of Western women need to stop using bras, which tend to restrict the lymph nodes fluids, especially those bras which have the hard plastic bone in it. Is that something?
It's a theory, but so far it's not been labeled as a direct risk factor for breast cancer. No.
So women should continue to wear bras regardless.
Once they feel comfortable doing so, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
It's completely up to their choice. Completely up to their choice. Whether they do, whether they don't, I don't think that's something to say would impact their breast health in the long run.
All right. We have any more calls, Sir Charles?
Actually, no. I think
All
you
right,
guys are doing such a fantastic job that the ladies don't even feel the need to call this morning.
Well, I was going to ask it, Dr. Cave, do you lecture anywhere? Do you?
So I do talks here and there. I do
All right.
Yes.
Because you're very explicit in terms of your articulation of all what you've discussed this morning.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. K, we'd like to thank you for joining us this morning on the breakfast show. We appreciate the information that you've articulated, and I'm sure that our listeners and viewers got huge benefits from it, not only in Trinidad and Tobago, but across the world, because we have viewers all over the world. So thank you so much for your expertise this morning, and we appreciate you joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Cave. Yeah. Take care.
Have a great day.
Okay, that was our guest, Dr. Christo Cave, weighing in on breast cancer in particular, but touching on some other health issues. And if you have not had your mammogram done, now is a good time to go and do it. It's available at the health centers, or you could go to a private doctor. But please get it done. All right? Please, men and women, right?
Men and women. That is it.
Men are much less at risk, Wendell.
What's that?
You don't want. I say men are much less at risk. You don't want men cluttering up mammogram.
No, but I mean, if you feel you are at risk, because you'll know, I guess, from looking at your breast.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
You're jiggling, walking and jiggling all over the place.
A set of men going to see me come together mammogram and a set of women waiting. Come on.
No, I'm just saying, you will know if you need to do it, Richard. You will know.
1%.
Anyway, I guess we probably got time to squeeze in a couple calls. And thanks for the folks. It's a papagram, not a mammogram. Magic. All right, so tomorrow our guest will be some folks from tutor elections. Actually, I guess they're all teachers. They are contesting some positions in the tutor executive elections, which are upcoming very soon. The team is called Rebirth. Am I correct?
Yep.
From the Rebirth team. So we will have some of them as our guests tomorrow, God willing, and then Thursday and then Friday. But so don't worry, we have a chock full of information coming at you this week from all manner of people. All right. Brenda's saying she tried calling, but the mailbox was full. So because I find it strange that more people didn't call for Dr. Cave. So we may have to clean up that. So Charles has some technical work to do today. Yes, technical homework that is to do today. We don't have pickups.
There's a mailbox that gets full. I didn't know that.
For calls, because I am actually I just call from one phone to the other phone and it's coming through.
Maybe everybody was trying to call at the same time. That happens sometimes.
Well,
hopefully we asked a lot of the questions that were relevant in terms of getting the information out. Because you just have to keep monitoring your health, and especially as you get older, you got to keep monitoring.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning. I get shoot. Amen.
So you're calling my phone again.
Everybody looking good.
Mr. Grant, you're calling the wrong phone all the time.
No. I called both. I called Wendell when I was on mute.
Oh.
Yeah, because asking me all the crime back in the days of Charlie Chaplin and them fellas and them. I like movie.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to call your phone because all it was on mute.
Okay, well, we understand why you were calling Wendell's phone.
Listen. Anyhow, Wendell, they say they're having budgeted sometime on the 13th. Okay? And the government is running by just press briefing. It's the first time I ever see a government in office and they hardly keeping government meeting in parliament. It's only brief, and the prime minister she taking no questions at all. And then the speaker, Mr. Jagyo Singh, they're talking now, but you can't ask supplemental question when his prime minister did. You start Robbie, one question 100 different way and you start to answer. That is something we have to look at. You see, you have to go back in a meeting now. Anyhow, have a good because now you're living for time.
Yeah, okay.
And Mr. Charles.
Yo.
I would like you to get this call so my kid by spoiler for me. It name War.
Spoiler War.
You go hear it.
Okay, no problem.
Venezuela.
Oh, okay, I'll check for you. Yeah,
Just to
spoiler.
quickly answer Ava Smith before we go for the news. He did refer to cancer also being genetic. All right, he did refer to that.
Yeah, the BRCA gene, the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes.
Yeah.
So he did reference that.
Yes, he did.
Women with those genes would have to be more concerned.
All right, so let's go to 8 o'clock news, and when we come back, we'll close off today's programming.
The news you need, the clarity you deserve. Local, regional, global. This is Net Radio News Now.
This is News Now on New Era TT Radio and Guile Caribbean. I'm Derek. The government is moving to immediately review the power purchase agreements with PowerGen and Trinidad Generation Unlimited. Public Utilities Minister Barry Patarath made the announcement while attending Ram Leela celebrations in Dow Village, California on Sunday. He said the agreements have been left untouched for years and that discussions will soon begin with T&Tech, PowerGen, TGU, and the NGC to make electricity generation more efficient and profitable. Minister Patarath also revealed plans to utilize excess electrical power to generate new revenue and to upgrade the Cove Power Plant in Tobago in collaboration with the Tobago House of Assembly. He said the goal is to ensure the nation's energy system remains modern, reliable, and sustainable. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles says many citizens feel abandoned by the UNC since the April 28 general election. Beckles, who also leads the PNM, made the comment during a meeting with her party's Toco Sangre Grande constituency executive on October 1st. She later posted on Facebook that some MPs have failed to meet their constituents, leaving people without real representation. The UNC won the election 28-13-2, with Defense Minister Wayne Sturge now representing Toco Sangre Grande, previously held by the PNM's Roger Monroe. Beckles said the PNM remains committed to rebuilding trust, reconnecting with citizens, and restoring hope, accusing the UNC government of failing thousands and putting over 45,000 people out of work. She encouraged PNM members to stay engaged with the people they serve, saying leadership must be rooted in humility and accountability. The T&T Blind Welfare Association is urging the Ministry of Health to add essential sight-saving drugs for glaucoma and diabetic retinopathy to the Chronic Disease Assistance Program, or CDAP. The call comes after Health Minister Dr. Lakram Bodo announced new medications for heart disease, hypertension, and other conditions under the revised program. The association says many patients face stock shortages of glaucoma eye drops and cannot afford private treatment. It's also calling for anti-VEGF injections used to treat diabetic eye disease to be made available in public hospitals. The group warns that without access to these drugs, many citizens risk avoidable blindness. It is written to Minister Bodo, seeking a meeting to discuss urgent action. A Port of Spain man was stabbed to death on Sunday morning during a confrontation involving his girlfriend and an ex-lover. Police say 27-year-old Michael Francis, also known as Boy Boy, was stabbed once in the chest during an argument at the corner of George and Prince Streets near Pago Spar. Francis was taken to the Port of Spain General Hospital, where he died just after 11 a.m. The suspect fled the scene and is still on the run. Homicide detectives and crime scene investigators are continuing inquiries. A Laventil man charged with the brutal murders of a policewoman, her family, and a friend more than 18 years ago has been freed. Justice Maria Busby Earl Cattle ruled that the evidence against 39-year-old Zwadi Gomez was inadmissible, effectively ending the state's case. Gomez of True Macaque Road was jointly charged with Daniel Mendoza for the 2007 murders of WPC Elizabeth Sutherland, her husband Ivan, their daughter Anika, and family friend Kevin Surratt at their Morvant home. The judge found that Gomez's police interview and caution statement, the only evidence linking him to the crime, could not be admitted. Gomez was represented by Delicia Helwig Robertson and Axia Edwards, while Anju Bola Makwan appeared for the DPP. Justice Busby Earl Cattle is expected to deliver her ruling in Mendoza's case next week. In the region, Guyanese billionaire and opposition leader Ezruddin Mohammed has been indicted by a U.S. grand jury on multiple fraud and money laundering charges. Mohammed, who recently led his We Invest in Nationhood, WIN, party to become Guyana's main opposition, is accused alongside his father, Nazir Shell Mohammed, of tax evasion involving gold exports and the importation of a luxury Lamborghini. U.S. authorities allege the pair reused official seals to make it appear that taxes and royalties were paid on millions of dollars worth of gold shipments. They also allegedly falsified invoices to undervalue a U.S. $680,000 Lamborghini, avoiding more than $1 million in taxes. If convicted, both men could face up to 20 years in prison and heavy fines. In international news, Israeli and Hamas officials began indirect peace talks in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt on Monday, aimed at ending the two-year war in Gaza under a U.S.-drafted plan. The discussions, mediated by Egypt, Qatar, and the United States, focus on a proposed ceasefire, the release of hostages, and a partial withdrawal of Israeli forces. Despite U.S. President Donald Trump's call to halt bombings, Israeli airstrikes continued overnight, killing at least 19 people. According to Gaza's health ministry, Trump's plan calls for Hamas to disarm and release the remaining hostages in exchange for prisoner releases. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi praised the U.S. effort, calling it vital for Middle East stability. The Vatican also urged restraint, saying both sides must respect human life and proportionality in the conflict. And that's news at this time.
That was news now. Stay informed with New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Don't miss Furniture Plus Inventory Blowout Sale. Get up to 65% off in-store and online. Enjoy massive savings on furniture, appliances, and more. Hurry, this deal won't last. Shop now and save big at Furniture Plus.
Charmflair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charmflair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charmflair. We do it all.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking
out of the box.
People can't get enough of the #1 comedy of 2025. You don't need foul to watch Corn. It's now at Cipriani College on Saturday the 11th of October at 8:30 p.m. and Sunday the 12th at 6:30 p.m.
Dancho is real baccarat.
Tickets available now at the usual outlets and at the Cipriani College box office from Wednesday 8th of October, 12 noon to 6 p.m. daily.
Don't play mad and miss this show, you know.
I see that show 3 times. Kenna is the best.
You don't need foul to watch Corn. The Bacchanal continues.
To watch Corn.
And with them, we are back. We are ready to close off. It's been an absolutely beautiful day. It looks like it's going to be another very hot day in Trinidad and Tobago. So please rehydrate yourselves. I drink a lot of coconut water. I've started back to drink a lot of coconut water. And fortunately for me, there's the coconut selling right on the road by me, both in St. James and in Arima. As I walk out either place, loads of coconut vendors. Is there a glut with coconut? Is there a glut of coconut? Because everywhere you turn now, coconut water selling.
Well, that is good. That means the price should go down.
We are living in a Caribbean island, you know that, right?
The price ain't going up. No, but this year I've noticed like a more coconut vendors.
Because you're just drinking more coconut water. You see.
All right. No, maybe I think a lot of people know.
Probably might have some a glut on the market too, already and truly.
They're not a Caribbean island.
You know what I also got yesterday? I haven't seen it in our pomsitas, ripe ones. Right? You know, there's a vendor right after the Price Mart coming up on the highway on eastbound side.
Mm-hmm.
That guy has some nice fruits. He has nice bananas. I got Portugals there. I haven't tried the Portugal yet. I suspect it won't be sweet though. But the pomsitas are delicious. And he had some grapes. He told me, try this. And I tried one and then I buy a whole set. If you taste them seedless grapes, like sugar. I don't know where you get them from. But he has some good fruits. I always go by him. They're quite pleasant too. Those vendors there on the highway, coming up after Price Mart. And yeah. Oh, I now remember I wanted to talk about something. Again, I'm a free ad. TGI Fridays has a chicken bites that is out of this world. I tried it in the Port of Spain branch, and then yesterday I had it in the Twin City branch. Chicken bites. It's immaculately done. You know, sometimes people put too much butter or you taste the meat and it don't taste like meat. Well, that chicken bite that TGI Friday does,
it's really biting.
It's biting. I tell you, it's biting. You know?
That is good. You know, guys, there was a situation over the weekend, and we did not really talk about it. About the girl who fell in the river, the East Drive River. Apparently on Sunday it was, and she was playing, and she fell into a drain that dragged her all through the East Drive River. You know, all the way down. I hear it was a whole, almost a whole kilometer. She went down. You know,
ended up in sea lots.
Yeah.
They ended up, a guy dived in behind her and held on to her, and they ended up in sea lots. And when they were rescued, he said, telling the police, well, all you give me a little vine, take my picture or something. He said, ignore him.
Yeah.
And he was a hero.
Apparently, yeah. He said he had to save one of the police officers also, you know. He had to save one of the police officers also, you know.
Yeah, and he said they ignored him. They treated him bad. I said, well,
yeah.
You're still a hero because the girl was 7 years old.
Yeah,
and she fell in I think somewhere in the Gonzales area.
That is quite a
river and ended up in sea lots. He saw her when the water was passing, and he dived in behind her and held on to her. Is that something?
That is a story, you know. God really is good. Richard really started good this morning.
I tell you, Richard don't even know when he has that halo over his head, you know. He's not even aware.
Yeah.
No, sometimes my sister sends me stuff. And she,
so your sister places the halo.
And she's immeasurably more religious or / spiritual than I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Nyla saved you then. Nyla's saving you.
Yeah. So just before we go, guys, I have a call coming from Captain Ron. Captain Ron, good morning.
Yes. Yeah, good morning. To everybody. Listen, I just wanted to say I saw that thing yesterday on TV, and the hurtful thing about it is that how the mother and all, I don't know why she's saying it, but she's giving praise to the police for saving her daughter. I mean, she's saying her daughter told her this, but even if that's the case, the daughter was panicking, and that's it, and probably scary. She don't even know who helped her at first. So, but the mother, it really hurt me to hear the mother say that yesterday. And I think, man, if I had more money, I would have sent money for that young man yesterday. Somebody should give him something to help him build himself, a career or something, or go study somewhere. All right, gentlemen, have a good morning.
All right, Captain Ron, take care. How is retirement going?
Yeah, he's gone. But your good deeds will be rewarded one way or the other.
I'm sure. Yeah. But look at Richard. Richard is a classical example of the good deeds he did being rewarded.
I thought you were going to say, Charles, I thought you were going to say your good deeds will be rewarded in heaven or something, nebulous like that,
No. That's what I said, one way or the other.
I mean, that's what you're already saying. When you're dead, you will get it.
That's basically what you just said.
I never said that, and that is not what I meant. One way or the other, it will be rewarded.
I was in sense that you was.
I know if people want. Nobody want to wait to reach heaven. They want the reward one time. All right, no problem.
Reward, not so.
Onward, Christian soldiers, marching to.
Anyway, this is when we wrap up the breakfast show. Just reminding you that theatre is on this weekend at Cipriani College. You don't need to have the one call. It's on Saturday at 8:30 and Sunday at 6:30. Of course, tickets are available at the Cipriani College box office from tomorrow, 12 noon to 6 p.m. But tickets are available now at all our usual outlets: K-Squared Fashions, West Mall, Eastgates, and Brentwood Mall in Chagonas. To Billy Robin, to Napuna Electronics, Arima, and Tony's Florals in Val Park Shopping Plaza and Chevrolet Auto Services. Get your tickets early. We're expecting lots of people coming out. The word of mouth is incredible concerning this play. And even people from South are already talking on Facebook who came to the show in South. Lots of new people who have never been to a play before are coming to this play. So don't miss it. Have a fantastic day. Whatever you do, remember to smile and laugh. It's great for your health.
All right, folks, have an absolutely wonderful day. Remember to let go and let God. You've only got one life. Live it.
New Era TT Radio continues on the web and, of course, on TuneIn. So continue excellent programming throughout the day. Have a great day, people. This has been
The Breakfast Show.
Bye, everybody.
Try that one more time, and you'll try and
bye, everybody.
Wrap up on the testosterone. This has been
The Breakfast Show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Wake up, it's a brand new dawn. The Breakfast Show got the vibes.